Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope you have an amazing day. Now we're going to take a look here at this potential bouncing point. We're going to talk about the support range, redraw out some Fibonacci retracement levels. I'm going to draw a comparison to Bitcoin as well. I hope you can stick with me through to the end because it's really important to know specifically what that means. Now, I'm not just saying that arbitrarily. There is a correlation between meme coins now, specifically Pepe, Wojak, and a few others that are aligning themselves with Bitcoin's behavior in the last 24 hours. It's important to know what that means in the big picture. Okay, so I'm going to touch on that and much more. And we can kind of see that yesterday's price prediction was pretty close. I mean, it can never be exact, but for the most part, it did bounce out that support range. Unfortunately, it wicked way down, concerned a lot of folks, and has since recovered. But we're going to see what that means here. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people to trade. Been trading for over 20 years, and I can tell you it's a rewarding experience to be able to work with some amazing traders. So if you want to be part of that, cryptocash.tech, where you can register to become a better trader. It's a really awesome experience. We've got signals, swing trade signals, day trade signals coming soon, as well as, of course, my tried and true trading university where you can learn how to become a better trader. So check that out in your own time. Also, help us grow our Twitter community. We've got a phenomenal backing here with Pepe, Wojak, and of course Bitcoin supporters. Handful of other coins as well. Algorand, amazing community there. Thank you all so much for just helping us get this up and running. Appreciate it very much. Again, super relevant, super awesome data. There's a lot of great technical and fundamental information you want to make sure to double check on. Okay, so stay abreast, enable alerts. You'll be happy you did that. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in and kind of see what's going on here with the charts. Okay, so first of all, on the 1 hour, we're going to go ahead and go to the big picture first, but the 1 hour is looking average. All right, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and go with the big picture first, okay? Because I always like to work my way down from larger time frames. We're getting more data now, so we can work on the one day and kind of see what's going on, at least somewhat. We don't have any convergences or divergences on the MACD. We don't have enough moving averages there. What we have so far is the relative strength index, though, that tells us we're still above 50. So that to me implies that we're still bullish in the overall sense of things. We have that support level. Got to keep in mind the money flow is coming down, and as the money comes out, the price goes down. It's just a natural cycle, okay? So try not to be super concerned with the pullback. It makes perfect sense. It's exactly the way that it should be, considering how high it went in such a short amount of time. We're actually lucky to have the price action where it's at, considering how low price typically goes based on traditional retracement. We're about halfway to the bottom, right? In other words, in this overall range of 0 to 400, if you will, we're at about 200 as a close approximate. That kind of shows us that we're at that 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. All right, so that's good stuff there. On the daily, we're not looking too bad. I don't think we have the 20-day set moving average finally here that we can look at. That's trending at around 108, so it doesn't help us too much at this point, just knowing that we have that potential support level if the price were to come back down that low. Now, the 4 hour is where things kind of get interesting because this is a transitionary time frame, right? You take 1 hour translates into 4 hour, 4 hour into the daily. So we can see the daily we're still bullish in the overall sense of things, staying above that moving average, essentially at 50 on the RSI, right? When we take a look here though, it paints a different picture. We are looking at a rejection close to 50 on the RSI where the price action is still below that. Okay, so we can expect some relatively bearish behavior in the 4 hour time frame for a little while until we break back above that level. Keep in mind, we maintain below this price point for too long, the daily will eventually suffer as well, right? So we don't want that. We want to be able to see a break cleanly through 50 here on the RSI. That to me would be like kind of the catalyst for taking a long position with this coin. Now you're going to say to yourself, well, if it breaks through 50, then the price will be higher. While that's true, the price could go lower between now and then too. There's a lot of little things you got to factor in. Okay, so looking at the moving average convergence, divergence, we can see here that it's starting to lose momentum to the downside. That's a positive sign. By no means does it mean it's just going to just take off and go parabolic tomorrow. Coins like this can do that, but it is a less of a likelihood of that to be the case, okay? Now, when it comes to the moving averages here on the 4 hour, we've been below the 50 and the 20 for some time. So at this point, well, technically we've been jumping up and down below within the 50, okay? Now that's good and bad. Generally speaking, though, if we continue to close below the 50-day, it will continue to work as a resistance. So we can presume here or surmise from that, we're looking at 199, round number 200,000. 200K is effectively a resistance level right now based on not only Fibonacci retracement, but that resistance level based on the 50-day simple moving average. Okay, so the 4 hour to me looks bearish. There's no other way to put it. On the hourly, this is where I want to kind of draw a comparison to Bitcoin because this is where you can really see the stark reality. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this so you can see it a little easier. But I have this and Bitcoin pulled up. So if you look at Bitcoin's chart, take a look at this kind of pattern here that we're seeing. Does that look similar at all to you? Again, it's not exact, but you take a look at that and you take a look at Wojak here. I mean, for the most part, all three of them are painting a very similar picture. Okay, so it's important to recognize that when there's an alignment with Bitcoin, that its first initial parabolic type of run is over. The reason why I feel this way is because Crocoin, I covered that back in 2021, I think it was, November, went crazy from 20 cents to almost $1 in a matter of 2 weeks. After it did that, it behaved sporadically like this coin is doing so far, and then inevitably aligned itself with Bitcoin almost to a T, plus 2x to the downside. Okay, so in other words, it depreciated twice as much. So not saying that's happening right here just yet, but it's an indication of potential alignment with Bitcoin, which implies if Bitcoin has a bad day, Pepe could as well. Just something to pay attention to, okay? So, okay, that's kind of what that looks like there. That's the general sense there. Now, let's go back to this level here. Let's go ahead and undo some of these things here. And let's go ahead and double check a few things, because 0.5 on Fibonacci is typically a resistance or support level. We're below that right now, but we kind of bounce off 0.618. Coincidentally, 0.618 here is working pretty concurrent with this support range here. We got a support range between 150 and 179. Okay, so that's where this comes from here. Keep in mind, it's not just an arbitrary box. It is definitely based on previous highs. Okay, we had a strong amount of high resistance there. Price comes up, break through that resistance, retest that as a support, reaffirming it as a potential support level. I say potential because we could break below that, but for right now, we're holding strong in this range. And if we take a look at the range too, by the way, if we take a look at the volume profile visible range, we can see there's a lot of volume in this area. Obviously, most recent accumulation. But keep in mind, the support range doesn't have a lot of volume, okay? So that does imply if we do lose that support range, that we'll be kind of in this range here, somewhere between just say 83 and 150. We'll have a different conversation at that point. But that's just something to kind of recognize. So this should be a good support level for the most part, okay? Just bear in mind too, this previous support here between, what is it, I think it's 209 and roughly 230. That's going to be a resistance range now for us because we broke cleanly through that, and you can see already the resistance is provided here so far. Okay, so we're going to probably be range bound for the immediate foreseeable future, in my opinion, until Bitcoin breaks up or down. That's just kind of what I'm expecting. Okay, again, I could be way off on this, but in coins like this, history, they have a tendency of aligning themselves with Bitcoin. So just something to absolutely pay attention to. All right, the last thing we want to kind of take a look at would be the 15-minute and see if there's any indication on our CC Golden, which we do have a fair amount of confirmational signs here. The only thing I don't love is that we are still below this consistent moving average there. So when you're below moving averages, a lot of times confirmational signs, such as a volume weighted moving average or a relative strength index, they have a tendency of giving false positives. Okay, so while I love the fact that we are getting confirmational signs, we're still below that moving average, and that concerns me a little bit. We've even got a sign here as well. A lot of close and open lines here in the most recent past here. So as the volatility starts to increase, we're starting to see more signs of potential downside. I'm not saying it's going to go any lower, but there's a good chance it'll continue to trend between 175 and 190 for some time. But I'm really hoping to retest it. So what we need to see as a confirmational sign is a sound closure above 209, roughly 210. That concurrent with the 4-hour, just say MACD convergence, where the price action starts to shift itself upwards and this starts to continue to inevitably converge at one point. That's what we're looking for. Furthermore, we need to be back up above 50 on the RSI. Okay, so I would say at the very least, one of those three things needs to be present. Last thing we can kind of double check here as well is the Ichimoku cloud. This probably is going to give us some indication that we're well below the moving averages, which we are. See that firm cloud up there? That's trending right exactly at that resistance shelf. Okay, so until we break above that, we're not in good shape to take any trades. This does tell us, however, that if you're in a short position, you want to consider closing it. And it also confirms the fact that we have bearish momentum. Big surprise, the price is coming down, right? It's kind of a no-brainer, but simply put, we're below resistances. This little push hasn't continued to, excel or decel, so to speak. So we're in a situation right now where patience is key and we wait for confirmation. I know it's tough for a lot of you traders out there. I get it. I'm a very patient trader myself, but I've had a lot more experience in general to be able to hone those skills. And those are things I teach in my trading academy. So if you want to become, again, a bit better of a trader and kind of steel yourself, be sure to watch those. If you're a part of the community, rewatch those, specifically my risk tolerance section that kind of talks about time management and how to walk away from a loss, how to accept things the way they are and to build your risk tolerance. Because if you're just jumping in willy-nilly right now, you're doing it wrong. I can assure you that. You'll get lucky sometimes, but long-term, big picture, you're going to lose. And it's important to just kind of be one with yourself and figure out who you are as a trader. Maybe trading is not a good fit for you. That's okay. But either way, for now, at this point, that's kind of where we're at. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you watched all the way through so you can kind of get some glimpse of what things to look for, things that I look for that keep me successful in this industry. Yeah, I take some losses. My community knows that, but I take a lot more wins than losses, and those wins that I take have a lot more profit involved instead of those smaller losses that I do take. Occasional big ones too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect, but I can tell you that it takes a lot of effort and consistent. You gotta just keep learning as much as you can to get where you need to go. So I hope that this spoke to you, and perhaps you want to become a little bit greater, be part of something bigger, a big, large collective group of awesome traders. Crypto Cash Tech is the website, and that's where you can go ahead and register. So we'll look forward to work with you. By the way, we do have day trades coming to the community. Oh, one very last thing, extremely important here as well. I'll help us build our Twitter community, yes, but we're having a trading competition here soon with BitGet. Okay, now that's one of our affiliates. They are a fantastic exchange. All you got to do is use my link to register. If you already registered through my link, you're automatically eligible. Okay, so we're going to have those a new one coming here very soon. It will not be for 10,000. It'll be less, just based on the fact that there's lower volume right now in general. But it's going to be a trading competition where you just get some extra rewards for trading with volume and/or profit-loss ratio. That is coming very soon. I think it's going to be May 11th through the 30th. So double check that. I'll send out a notification on that here through Twitter. So again, enable alerts on Twitter to ensure that you are notified of that. Also, come on over here and like, retweet, and follow this for a chance to win a free month membership. Of course, we have this giveaways weekly. Be sure to check that out. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one.